Hi everybody, Elin here. Today I come to you guys with my October book haul, and as you may have seen previously, I actually uploaded a book fair book haul that was from the last weekend of September, which, went up in October, but it counts. So my book haul is technically in two pieces this month, so if you want to find out everything about, then you should check that video out as well. But now I'm going to talk about all the books that I did not get at the book fair, meaning the books I bought myself or that I got as review books from different publishers and authors. So let's get to it. There was a lot of good, very anticipated releases of mine that came out now in October, so obviously I needed to get them all at the same time, which resulted into a lot of books. So if I counted correctly, I ended up with 18 books this month. I have not bought like all of them because a few of them are review books. I think there's 3 review books, and then there's one that was a present that I forgot to haul in September, so it's not that bad, but it ain't good. But yeah, let's get started. So first of all, we have like the most beautiful book ever, but this is The Tales of Beedle the Bard by J.K. Rowling, illustrated by Chris Riddell, and I mean, look at this. So obviously I need to have this one because I love everything that is about the Harry Potter universe. So I mean, I need to have this, and I've been looking forward for this one for so long, since they were not supposed to release the illustrated edition of The Goblet of Fire, so I needed this one to sort of tie me over until next year. So this one contains amazing illustrations. We're gonna find a good one. So here we have one of the stories. And I love the illustrations, I love the little stories because they're really good. And I mean, we do get to see some of them in The Deathly Hallows, the movie adaptation, but it's just really nice to see them in illustrated edition. And I really love Chris Riddell's interpretation of the stories, and I read this one the same day I got it home. So, I mean, it was really great, and I will talk more about it in my wrap-up. And of course, I can't have a book haul without hauling something Brandon Sanderson. So I bought Legion, The Many Lives of Stephen Leeds by Brandon Sanderson. So this is a bind-up of 3 novellas that is about Stephen Leeds. And, I mean, I've read the first one, so I read about 76 pages of it, and that means I have 2 left, obviously. So this book is about Stephen Leeds. He has sort of these hallucinations that are sort of hard to describe because they're kind of a part of him, but they're hallucinations, but they're very real and lifelike, and you don't really find out how he came about seeing them, but they kind of help him solve a case. It's really weird, it's kind of hard to grasp at first, but I really do like the characters, and I love the idea and the plot, and I really do look forward to continuing reading this bind up. And we have the book I forgot to haul last month. Sorry, Jamie. But this is Buffy the Vampire Slayer 20 Years of Slaying, The Watcher's Guide. I have started reading this one actually. I'm on page 44, but this is sort of a summarize of the different episodes in the series. For everyone who loves Buffy the Vampire Slayer, it's really darn good. So this one sort of sums up the best and most popular episodes of the TV show, and then we have interviews with the different characters like Anthony Stewart Head and David Boreanaz, who's awesome, and characters like that. And then we have like quote of the week and deleted scenes and stuff like that, and it's really entertaining, and I love all of the different parts of it, and I'm definitely like reading some of it every now and then. It's not really a book you just plow on through because it takes a bit of reading, but it's really entertaining, and I do want to find out if they have like more books like this, so it's definitely worth a read if you love Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And now we have another Brandon Sanderson book because why not? But this is another novella, and this is Mitosis by Brandon Sanderson, and this is actually a Reckoners novella. I read the Reckoners earlier this year. I love the series, and this is supposed to be sort of a bridge book between the first and the second book, I believe. And look at the cover. I just love his covers. They're always so freaking beautiful. And this is about Mitosis, who is an epic with different powers, and you kind of follow the Reckoners around and be a part of when they're trying to sort of vanquishing or winning over mitosis, and it's really good. It was a quick read, obviously, since it's so thin, but I just loved being back with the characters again, and it's definitely worth a read. And I mean, you might have noticed my shelves, and you know, like you can tell, there's Harry Potter, Harry Potter, Harry Potter, and then Harry Potter, Harry Potter, Harry Potter. And then what you can't even see is the fact that I have, like, on top of my shelves, I have more Harry Potter, like, all the way around here, and you can't even see that. And for some reason I decided to buy more Harry Potter editions because I didn't have enough, apparently. So I bought some Harry Potter books, and I ain't mad about it because they're gorgeous. So I actually sort of find out about these on Instagram because Instagram is the best. But these are the German 20 edition of Harry Potter. So I bought Harry Potter und der Stein der Weisen and Harry Potter und die Kammer des Schreckens. So this is Philosopher's Stone and the Chamber of Secrets. And I read German for a few years in school. I think it was like 6 years. Is it that much? No, I have no idea. 5 maybe. I don't know. But I ended up reading German for a few years, and I was actually quite good at it. And then I ended high school, and then I pretty much never talked German again, and I have lost pretty much all of it. But I've always said that I wanted to read Harry Potter in German, and here's my chance, I suppose, but I don't really have to, like, relearn German, I feel like. But I mean, look at these covers. Like, these are the entire reason I needed to get them, because they are gorgeous, and they were their 20-year edition, and I love them. And they're also very, very pretty on the backs as well. Look at Hagrid, he's so cute. So I will definitely be purchasing the entire series in this edition, because why the hell not? And I mean, it's not that bad, because now I have Harry Potter in a third language and with 4 different, like, countries, because I have the Swedish ones, the German ones, the UK ones, the US ones, and it's a third language. So I mean, it's good. And then we come to another gorgeous book, because I feel like that's the theme of this haul, really, and that is Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. And look at this cover. I mean, I have book 1 right here, the blue one, can't even put it there, and that's gorgeous as well. And look at it, it has sprayed edges like the first book has, and I really enjoyed reading the first one. It's really hard to describe because it's kind of vague, it's kind of hard to, you know, describe it. But the first book is about Laszlo Strange, and he's actually been obsessed with this city called Weep. And originally it was not even called Weep, but sort of a magical shenanigans happened and people forgot the real name of the place. And he has written books and books and books about this place, and he's always wanted to visit. So one day when the opportunity arises and he can actually go there, he makes sure that he is one of the chosen ones to go, and shit happens. It's really cool, it's magical, and it's awesome. And obviously I needed book 2, and it's so gorgeous all the way around. And I really want to just dive right into this one, but I do kind of feel like I need to reread the last one, because I think I read it in like April 2017 or something like that, so it has been quite a while, but I really want to read this one. It's so gorgeous. Now we come to 2 review books that are in the same series that I got from the author, and this is Attentaten i Gallus and Gallus brinner by Eva Holmqvist, and these are quite short middle grade books. And this is about this girl Matilda, and she sort of dreams herself somehow into a different world, and in this world there's these people called Gallus, and I'm guessing these are the bewinged people on the covers, and they actually rule this world, and the humans are slaves. So we kind of get to be a part of, you know, how that goes on and what they can do about it or something like that. I'm not really sure, but they seem really interesting, and they sure as hell gotta be quick reads since they're so short, so I look forward to reading these. And then we come to another highly anticipated release of this month, and that was A Very Large Expanse of Sea by Tahereh Mafi. And I have read this already because I can't contain myself. I don't know what to do. But this one is about Shirin. I'm sorry if I did not pronounce that name correctly. But she, we get to follow her 1 year after 9/11, and at this point is sort of, she's not treated very well because she happens to be a Muslim and she wears a headscarf and everything like that, and people have very like sort of weird opinions, and they think that they know her just by looking at her, but they really don't. And we sort of get to be a part of how it is to, you know, being treated differently, or because what you look like or what religion you practice and stuff like that. And this is supposed to be inspired by Tahira Mafi's own life, and it was really good, and I really enjoyed reading it, and I feel like I learned a lot from it as well, and I definitely think it's a read worth reading. And also I feel like it's sort of a subject that a lot of people need to get, you know, a little bit more updated on. We come to another highly anticipated releases, because apparently all of my highly anticipated releases was from October for some reason, but October is just a good release month apparently. But that is What If It's Us? That's a hard title to say. By Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. Obviously I needed to buy this book because I love all of Becky Albertalli's other books, so of course I needed to read this one. And I have read one Adam Silvera book previously and I did enjoy it, so I feel like this will be a very good read for me. So it's quite chunky for being a contemporary book, but hopefully that's just good. But this one, we meet Arthur and Ben, and I think they're very different, because Arthur believes it's love at first sight, while Ben does not. They just happen to meet, and I think one of them just broke up with their boyfriend and is going to the post office to send away some things, and I think that's where they meet. I'm not sure. I mean, it's a contemporary, and I have been reading so freakishly much fantasy for the last few months that I really need some contemporary in my life, and I feel like this is the savior for me. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one. And now we got another very chunky book, to say the least, but that is The Shadow of What Was Lost by James Islington, and this is the first book in a trilogy called I can't pronounce the Lycanus trilogy or something like that. I've never read anything by James Islington before, but I have seen this book around and I really wanted to check it out. This is like huge, but I do feel like it looks bigger than it is, because it's like 693-ish pages or something like that, but it looks enormous. So this is supposed to be sort of different from ordinary fantasy books, because this book takes place after the heroism has been done, like after they have done the rebellion and taken down the king and everything like that, and that's when this takes place, and they're trying to sort of get used to being known and trying to get on with their lives now that everything has changed. And it's been 20 years since it happened, but they're still sort of struggling with it, and it sounds like a really interesting premise, and I really do look forward to reading it. And then we come to another highly anticipated release. I feel like I say that about every single book, but you know, get used to it. But this is The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy by Mackenzie Lee. This is the sequel to the Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. They have very long titles, so it's sort of hard to remember. But this is supposed to be the sequel. I don't know if it's supposed to be ideology or not, I'm not sure. But in this book we get to follow the sister of the main character from the first book. So this book is all about Felicity, which is a character I really enjoyed reading about, and she was really sarcastic and sassy, and I like that a lot. But there's also supposed to be pirates in it. How can you say no to pirates? I freaking love pirates. We need more pirate books, and somehow the publishers and the bookish gods have granted us this, because that is sort of the theme of this year, I feel like, and that's awesome. And now we have another review book, and that is Den Moderna Gentlemannen by Alexander Wiberg and Måns Zelmerlöw. And as you Swedish watcher may know, Måns Zelmerlöw is actually a very famous Swedish artist. This is a review book that I got from Bokfabriken, and this is sort of about stuff you need to know to become a gentleman. So I mean, I'm obviously not a man, so I feel like I don't really know how much this will help me, but I mean, it's about shoes and how to tie a tie. That's a weird sentence. And stuff like that. So how to do stuff to look like a gentleman, and it will be an interesting read, to say the least. That Jamie was kind enough to go and buy for me, and then bring it with her here when she was supposed to visit me for the book fair. and I'm so happy that she did, because I got a Reaper at the Gates. And look at that sticker. Do you see what it says? It's a signed copy. Yay! So I read the previous 2 books in the series, and I was supposed to wait for the 3rd book to come out in paperback so it will match my other books, but when they had a signed copy, I needed it. So I mean, obviously I need to look at the signature. So there it is. It's signed by Sabaa Tahir. So this is a really great but sort of bloody and brutal read, really. So in this one we meet Laya, and she's really living this sort of ordinary life until one day her brother is actually suspected of treason, and they take him in, put him in jail, and she wants to save him, obviously. And to be able to do that, she has to work with these sort of rebels, and then she has to go into pretending to be a slave, go into the people that sort of rule the city, and try to get information, and then the rebels will help her in exchange to get her brother out of prison. And while doing so, she meets this guard named Elias, and they sort of have to work together. It's really great, and I really look forward to reading this book, and I want to read it right away. But I'm in a reading slump, so maybe it's not the best time to read it, but I do want to. And then, since we're on a theme here, we have Seafire by Natalie C. Parker, and I don't really know a lot about this book. I sort of heard about it because it's about pirates, lady pirates, and obviously I needed it, and it looks kind of cool. And look at those end papers, just sort of gold blackish. It's really cool. And I needed the book because I can never have enough pirates to read about. So that's all I know, pretty much. No, I know that there's some lady pirates, and they sort of get help by this guy, and then they're trying to decide if he should be allowed to join them, even though they're supposed to be an all-women's crew. And that's pretty much all I've heard about it, but I definitely prefer going in blind into pirates books, because they're usually very kick-ass and entertaining, so why need to know more? Then we come to the part of the haul where I just purchase more books I've already owned, but in new editions, because why the hell not? So obviously I needed to buy The Final Empire, the first Mistborn novel, in the 10-year collector's edition. I don't really know what they call it. It's the 10th anniversary edition, maybe that's all they say. But I mean, it is gorgeous to start with. I like the gold, and it's so pretty. And yes, I need to take the price tag off. It was not cheap, but you know, it was worth it. And they have like maps in it, and I don't really know how much that is actually differs from the first book, because I haven't really had the time to look through it too much. But it's really gorgeous. I have definitely started to get sort of an impressive Brandon Sanderson shelf right here, because all of that is Brandon Sanderson books. And then there's some Reading stuff. And I'm gonna fill this entire shelf like before the year's over. I can promise you that, because I have more books going on there when I have read them. So these are just the ones I have read. I own a shitload. So obviously I needed to put that book there, and oh, look, gorgeous. And also they're supposed to release the 3rd book in this cover too. So obviously I need to buy the 2nd one and the 3rd one, because it will look awesome. Now we've come to the last book of this haul, which is also a repurchase. So first time around I accidentally ordered this book online as a pocketbook, sort of a mass market paperback, I guess is the best way to describe it in English. And I didn't like it. It's too chunky, it's too small, and I will break the back. So I kind of just want to unhaul it and do it over again. So I kind of repurchased it. So I bought The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I have seen these covers around a lot, and they're really pretty, even though I do like the other covers as well. And I feel like everybody and their mother have read this book, and I really need to read it. And I know that this is another one of those series that is not finished. There's 2 books out, and then there's a novella, which I've heard really questionable things about. But I really do want to read this one so badly. And I know this is just going to put me in the same position as I am in with the Game of Thrones books, which I'm still waiting for the next book to come out. George R. Martin, please start writing. And I know I will get in the same position in there, but I can't help it. I need to know what the fuss is about. What is it about? Because I don't know. I mean, the description of this book is so vague, but I mean, it's obviously about magic, and then he's kicked out of a university and he talked to gods and stuff like that, and that's pretty much all I can gather from the, you know, back of the book. But I mean, it sounds good and I've heard great things about it, so it's just time to read it now. So I have no idea how to make this thumbnail because there's a shitload of books here, and they're chunky. But if you wanted to see my book fair book haul, I know it's a mouthful to say, but if you want to see that, I will link it down below so you can go check it out. And if you like this video, please don't forget to give me some thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel by clicking the little button down below. And yeah, I hope to see each other next time. Bye!